AppSec's really gotten to become quite an important part of the business world in general. I think a lot of people now are starting to wake up to security. Application security is definitely one of the biggest parts of that. We need to start baking security into applications from the get-go.
The AppSec community is struggling to engage with stakeholders in that we're lagging behind in speaking the language of business. The business has become savvy to the traditional threats. They understand what a phishing attack is, they understand what ransomware is, they understand the basic sort of main threats that we face. And they're increasingly looking to security as a partner in the business rather than as somebody who sits as an agency bouncer at a nightclub.
Obviously in cybersecurity, most of us are from technical backgrounds. However, this is not a technical problem. One of the issues that we're facing is that this is really, a soft skills problem. It's about understanding people, understanding, how people work.
We've got to move away from the culture of no. We're there as a part of the team, not set apart from it. So taking your time to understand the business strategy in their technology aspirations is key to how we deploy our security.
The thing that you do is when you go into an organisation, you have to understand the culture. So you've got to adapt your kind of approach per stakeholder. So if you're working with senior stakeholders, then obviously you need to communicate with them in the business context, using business language and not technical language. If you're working with devs, of course, it's more technical. And the key thing I always say to people is build trust with those stakeholders, be transparent, and take them on that journey with you.
People will be demanding the right to safer hardware and the right to safer software.
If the decision maker doesn't trust what you're telling them, or suspects that or you've miscommunicated or suspects that it isn't the case, or you've got an agenda, you are not going to get it through. You have to build that trust beforehand.
And one of the key things you need to do is communicate in the business language. So when you're working with the C-suite, going into a room and telling them we've got 200 vulnerabilities, they're going to throw the book at you.
It's sitting and working out what your senior leadership want.
Tell people that actually you can make this fun, and if you build that if you build that culture, then you're going to get to the point, as we said earlier, where people are actually going to come to you.
And there's a synergy between the selfish, narrow self-interest and the wider digital environment interest, and part of that really is secure code. It's one of the most important things we can do to clean up the digital environment.